Hey guys, so I don't actually have all my thoughts together for this video, because I didn't really plan on this one, but this morning I was kind of woken up to, when I was checking my messages and all that, one of our members in our community has, been apparently working out, and where they hadn't before, they're starting to see some results. They are excited and motivated, and they are wanting to learn more about wrestling as a sport and actually like starting to take it seriously. And that's one of those things that really just makes me so happy. Um, it's not the easiest thing in the world to be making these videos, to be trying to run this channel and managing the communities and all that, when a lot of times I do feel like I'm talking to an empty room and in an empty space and all that. And so when I see people on YouTube, they make comments about certain things that they found really interesting or very helpful, and people in the chat groups in the Facebook group, when they're talking about things and they ask questions or whatever, that really makes my day, guys. And I am so thrilled that you know one of our members is really starting to take fitness seriously and really being excited to do it, right? And it's something that one of my friends in real life has been asking me for some basics on getting more toned. And again, I've talked about toned in kind of more of the exercise videos that I did way back when in the beginning of summer, where that's one of those dirty words that trainers generally don't like. And the reason for that being because it doesn't describe what your end goal is, right? And it doesn't describe what's going on in your body, right? So toned, a lot of people, when they say, when you have a conversation with them about getting toned, what you end up hearing is you hear people saying, well, I don't really feel like I need to lose a lot of fat, and I definitely don't want to put on any more muscle. So, when we're having that conversation as trainers, we're going, well, then what the hell do you want, right? Because that's what what toning is it is the combination of fat loss and muscle gain. So, that was part of that conversation, and trying to get him to really, really clarify what his goals are, not just to me, but to himself, and what that's going to take, and how, because when we say we don't really want to lose a lot of fat, or we don't want to put on a lot of muscle or whatever, when we're talking about getting toned, well, we're basically deleting the definition of what it means to get toned. And so, again, just as a reminder, when we're trying to set goals, try to be as specific as possible, and try to use very clear language that includes, what exactly, you're actually looking for. Having a better physique, what determines our physique are really just two factors, right? It's going to be our fat content and our muscle content. So, but when it comes to that conversation that I had with that friend, I totally info dumped on him because he wasn't giving me a specific thing. So I gave him like the foundations of what you need to know in order to achieve any goal, really, and how different systems and basically everything that's in the exercise science playlist, and then some, including like all the handouts that I did when I was working at 24 Hour Fitness and Fitness Styles and other gyms that I've worked at. I've done a lot of those things and had a lot of those handouts put out. So, those conversations, I'm always happy to help with those things. It's actually part of one of my problems is that I tend to help people more than is fair to me, and so then we don't need to go into that too much, but generally speaking, and I'm happy to do it still, right? So if you guys have questions, you have concerns, you have things that come up that make you feel like you need extra help, don't be afraid to ask me. It's actually one of the things that makes me feel like I'm actually doing something good on this channel. So I want to thank that member this morning, and I want to thank my friend Craig for asking me and actually approaching me, and hopefully, I want to hear about you guys' successes. I want to hear about when you tried a sweep that you saw on my channel and it worked, or you were able to get out of the mount and you're like, thinking, you're rolling with all these people, and before you started watching this channel, if somebody got on top of you, you're like, oh, well, I guess you're on top of me now. I guess, I'm going to struggle a little bit, but now hopefully, having something on top of you isn't that big of a deal anymore, right? Unless, of course, it's somebody else who's been watching this channel and they know how to stay on top of you, but that's neither here nor there. So, the other thing that kind of made me really, really giddy this week, and I know I posted a video last week on, what becoming a purple belt means, and my conversation with my teacher and all that, which I'm hoping you guys watched that video, and I hope you guys got something really great out of it, because I think that there was a lot of good information coming out of that discussion. But one of the things that he wanted me to do is basically what I'm making you guys do, which is look at things on YouTube to a certain extent. And I don't recommend for those of you who are watching this channel and are just beginning to spend too much time on YouTube trying to find the next coolest thing. Try to stick to the basic foundational things as much as you possibly can and be a sponge for that. Don't try to go into anything super fancy, because without those foundational things, the super fancy stuff isn't worth jack shit. And that was part of the point of that video. But once you got a good foundation, then you can start. So this period of time when you're focusing on those basics, that's prepping you for going into and starting to learn the more advanced cool shit. So take this time seriously and really, really try to hone as much as you can. Again, if we are talking about just having basic fundamentals, there's still a lot of stuff that I've put out here that are amount to a lot of information. So coming back and kind of guiding you guys a little bit, what you should be focusing on is you should know all the major positions. So that would be, you should know what guard is, right? You should know what side control is, cradle hold, which is another form of side control, right? Scarf hold, switch bases, north-south, mount, knee ride, back mount, side mount, and top forequarter / bottom forequarter, right? So you should know what all those positions are, how to transition through those positions, and you should have at least one good transition for each of those positions, and you should have at least one good escape for each of those positions, right? So to give you kind of more pointed direction on what to kind of focus on when it comes to learning, I would say start by learning that first. Know your positions, know how to get out of those positions, learn how to transition from a good position to a better position, and so on and so forth. And then start working on your basic attacks. And really, from any position, you only really should have maybe one or two attacks that you should be focusing on right now, right? And I would even narrow it down even further, right? So I would say go to one position, whether it's going to be side control, knee ride, mount, back mount, guard, and just focus on getting like three submissions within that position, right? So if you just want to do side control, learn your attacks from side control and say, okay, my goal when I'm rolling is to get to side control and hit one of these three submissions, and the three submissions that you pick feed into each other, right? So if I were to give an example of that from the side control, right, we can use our shoulder to get the person's arm separated down to the ground. We try to hit that Americana. If they stretch out their arm, then you try to go for the straight arm lock. If they go here, you go for the Kimura, right? Those are your three submissions from that position. That is it. That's all done, okay? Get really good at those and try to focus on getting to that position and going for those submissions. And even if it means going at them from a different order, right? You don't have to start with the Americana. You can go for the Kimura first, and then it's going to go back the other direction. And then you can start building upon that. Well, if they go from that straight arm lock, but they start to go like this to bring their arm back, trapping that arm, going for the head and arm choke on the other side or whatever. So start building on a very specific point and go out from there, right? And that, I think, is going to be a very good way for you to start. And just get it so that you know that spot, and then start working on another position, and by the time that you can hit like 2 or 3 sweeps or submissions, escapes, and whatever, and transitions. Once you have all that down, well, then you're kind of getting towards the better end of a white belt, and you're about to progress onto the blue belt. And then you can start to explore more advanced things, start applying those foundations towards the more advanced topics. And then when you get into that purple belt, you start to specialize in those concepts. So that's kind of my advice for you guys. And really let me know where your progress is, and let me know where you're struggling. Let me know what questions you have, because I am here to help you. And I know that this community is growing and growing and growing and growing. We have almost 100 people in the Telegram group. We have, I think we're getting like between 300 and 500 in the Facebook group. And we have, I think, over 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I would have to double check that, but because I don't really track it. But we are snowballing. We are growing relatively fast. So the last thing I wanted to cover in this particular video is that, as I mentioned, I feel like a lot of times I'm talking to a camera, right? And I'm not talking to a community specifically. And the thing about that is that, and I feel that I'm doing you a bit of a disservice to a certain extent, because I'm just giving you kind of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu submission wrestling perspective, when a lot of you guys are looking for folk style, freestyle, Greco-Roman. We've got some people that are looking at traditional Indian wrestling in our community. And for those of you who do have skills, even if it's a little bit of skills, it is valuable for you to start sharing your favorite moves, your favorite submissions, the foundations of the stage work that goes into professional wrestling. That's something that I'm not even going to touch pro wrestling, because it's definitely not my thing. It's not something that I know anything about. And so, there are people in this group that do that. And so if you're in this community and you do that, share it. Start getting, I will give you the password to edit on this channel, and you can start adding your own videos to it. You can start your own channel, and I will put it in the links in every single video from now on, if you let me know that you're doing that. If you're more MMA focused or whatever, let me know. And because this is not about me, right? It's about the community and the community's needs. And if we are to actually build this community and make it valuable to all the different people who are looking for the type of information we're providing here, I think it's going to take a team effort. So once again, I'm asking people to step up. And I know that I haven't had a whole lot of people that have really done that yet, but I'm not going to give up hope on that, because I think that it's something worth fighting for. I think it's something worth looking into, so that we can actually help people grow, because that's what we're here for. So thank you for watching. I know this was kind of a random video that went all over the place, but I think we've said some important things here, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye.